I have an admission to make. While some of us are liberals and Democrats, I'm an imperialist. That comes about because I'm an economist, but I'm the sort of an economist that is an imperial economist and likes to expand my realm of comment and knowledge to all sorts of other disciplines. And Andrew referred to some of the sort of lions of the liberal movement earlier, and one of them who I think we should remember today passed away last Monday. That is the Monday just past, Gordon Tullock. And Gordon Tullock was one of the founders of the theory of public choice, which was really, with Buchanan, expanding the realm of economics very much into public policy and decision-making and constitutions and how they're formed. And Gordon Tullock's a particularly interesting person to think about here today in Hong Kong in this event, for reasons that I only discovered when reading obituaries, which is sad. He was fluent in Chinese and had an encyclopedic knowledge of Chinese history, much of which he gained as a serviceman around the time of World War II. He also would have fitted in well in some legislatures, and someone writing an obituary said about him that he came from an era that had an attitude that people are supposed to show their appreciation of each other by insulting each other, with the one with the best insult winning. Most people simply viewed his insults as untimely, and they did not realise that he was actually complimenting them if he was insulting you, and that what you were supposed to do was insult him back. Those he really looked down upon, he simply ignored. So if in any of the comments that we made today, insults are to be taken as the highest of compliments, that people who genuinely believe in freedom and in liberty, and those who are active in trying to create in their countries liberty, will disagree on many things. That is the whole point, isn't it? That we want the ability to disagree, to think about the key and important issues that shape the world that we live in. Freedom is indeed about disagreement and the ability to insult each other. I was reminded by the last speaker with regard to Singapore about the dilemma of sort of corporate interests and freedom. And I was rather naughty once when a guest of Standard Chartered Bank in Singapore, they had the head of Singapore Press, I can't recall if it was the chairman or chief executive, I think the chief executive, as a guest, and he gave the spiel about what a wonderful place Singapore is, and I like Singapore, there are many good things about it. And I asked a cheeky question. I said, you know, you just gave a great speech and you said that you believe in freedom. Singapore is very free, but you have capital punishment and you sue the people who express different political views and use litigation by officers of the state in a fairly aggressive way, and you ban the Far Eastern Economic Review. And he said to me in response, thank you for your question, I too am a liberal and someday capital punishment will change in Singapore. As for the issue of litigation, people know what they should be saying, and you don't need to be sued if you say the right things. And as for the Far Eastern Economic Review, the editor is just childish. Now, fortunately, another corporate interest has protected that editor, and he is the opinion page editor of the Asian Wall Street Journal here in Hong Kong today. And I think it is important that many of our corporate titans genuinely do believe in freedom and have fought very hard to achieve that. I'm particularly pleased that we'll be joined by people like Emily Lau addressing us very soon. When I first moved from Australia to Hong Kong 20 years ago, one thing that really stood out in Hong Kong was the number of influential, strong, opinionated women in public life. One was Emily Lau, another Christine Lowe, another Anson Chan. Two of those have in common a background at Roman Catholic schools. And I thought this was good. I decided to marry someone from the same school as Anson Chan. But this was different to Australia. And so my point is that in practice, Hong Kong has achieved great freedom for many of its people and opportunity for many of its people. And we shouldn't just stop with what we have. Clearly the efforts of others to continue to preserve freedom in Hong Kong are very important. And to do that, we need to make sure that we preserve and grow and develop the institutions that we have. And so I referred earlier to public choice theory, which reminds us of the importance of decentralising power, of constitutionalism and checks on power. And whilst we all agree on freedom, I think we can have a useful debate about what the constraints and the institutions are best that will preserve that. And those of us that are on the free market liberal side of the debate focus very much on individuals, bottom-up and choice, and maximising the realm of choice for those individuals in ideas, in personal liberties, in policy and in economics. And the outcomes of the choices that those individuals make are critical, and we should allow those outcomes to be what they are, where the cards might lay. Sometimes irrespective of whether that delivers equality of wealth or not. So I think we believe in equality, we believe in equality, to create your own life, your own wealth, your own prosperity. And the idea of who has the most money is one of the most narrow parts of the debate about equality. So thank you all very much for coming here today. I hope we can have a continuing and constructive debate. And thank you for your efforts on behalf of freedom.